Welcome to the Dinner Table Podcast. I'm Julia Barbaro. I am here with Gabriella and Michael. A lot of people ask how we have a big family and still like each other. That's actually a common question amongst people.
I also have that.
Well, okay, because I have to ask you because some people know, some people don't. We always homeschooled. We're always together. We family vacations and so on. And thinking back from when you were little till now, what's the reason why you all stayed connected?
To each other?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Either one of you.
You want to go first?
you got it.
Okay. Well, I think part of the reason we stayed connected is like I said in the past, we were all homeschooled, and so we all kind of had to be in the same area anyway, and so we were kind of forced into being friends. And then I think at some point as we got older, we decided, oh no, like we can actually be good friends and still siblings at the same time.
What does that mean? Being friends and siblings? Like, how would you explain that?
It's like having a friend, but no matter how mad you get at them, like you're always gonna reconcile some ways if you play your cards right, obviously, right?
Got it.
Yeah, because I think there's also like the reality that or the people assume that we're just like perfect all the time and we just like get along all the time, and that is not the true. We were literally just fighting right before this started. So it's like the reality of family life, the reality of like homeschooling, the reality of just being friends with your siblings. It's very much so like arguing, and then 5 minutes later you're laughing on the floor because something is hilarious and someone's making a joke, and then you're no longer mad about whatever it was that you like forget what you were mad about. So I think there's also to what Michael was saying about like friendships where you like know how to reconcile, you know how to like point out the flaws in the other person, but then also let them point out the flaws in you, because there's no hiding at home. Like they know all your stuff. They know like what pisses you off and what makes you angry and what does all these things. So, but they also know how to make you laugh, even if it takes a minute to do that. So I think being forced to be home all the time, it sounds horrible.
It does until it doesn't.
Right. I'm thinking about going to school for 8 hours a day just doesn't seem very. I don't want to do that. So I'm very glad that I was home all the time with my said siblings, and they're fine, I guess. You know, but yeah, there's a reality to that where it's like a great gift because they're the people that are with you for the rest of your life, you know?
Yeah.
But real quick, even with that, like you get to learn how to build friendships from your siblings. Like you said, you learn all their strengths, all their weaknesses, and you get to learn how to bring that to people outside of your family as well.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to go to is that, you have this solid foundation at home on learning how to play with the kids and then he can't stand them and then get over it and have that forgiveness. Do you know what I mean? So how did that environment lead you to make friends and in a sense where choosing your friends, and you know what I mean? Like it's important who you hang out with.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
So how did that play a role in who you decided to be around, who you decided your circle was, and even the forgiveness part and the childlike part? Because I think sometimes as we get to be adults, we forget about the childlike, where I learned from you guys mostly because I watched that. I watch you guys play, fight, and get over it. So it's good for me. Yeah. So tell me like how you decide who your circle is.
So for me, again, going back to the family life and making sure you have a good family and all that stuff, it's recognizing all of the good you have in your siblings and then being able to see good in other people, right? And so on one hand, like I know what a good person looks like because I've been raised with that. And so if I don't see any of that in a person, I don't get anywhere near them because I know they're just going to bring me down. That's not what I want in my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Well, because even if you don't see, and I have a feeling this is more for you, Gabby, because you are very different, and so I almost feel like you go to the people that didn't come from a good family and try to what would that word be?
Like evangelize.
Kind of.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. And be that, because a lot of people don't have a good family.
Well, I think there's different stages of my life when I talk about friends. Like high school friends were great and beautiful. Like that was one stage. And then my college friends, which I'm still friends with some of them now, but some of them like just come out of contact with, and then my missionary friends who I think know me the best. And just like seeing the different groups of people that I've been around and seeing the different things that they bring out of me and seeing the different like things that I bring out of them in just a really beautiful way. I think family life just also instills in me the gift to be able to do that and the gift to be able to receive that from other people. Because even thinking back, I think when I lived with a bunch of women a couple of years ago, like our house is very much like home because we were just all loud, and I mean it's just like
It's
loud.
very loud at the Barbaro house.
It's very loud.
Just
It's just always
gotta
loud.
say
There's
loud.
always some kind of music playing or someone screaming or Hamilton being recited for the 10th time that day. Like
It's the way that my kids learned Hamilton was the play.
Yeah.
Okay. So just so
Yeah.
you know. Okay.
that's true. That's homeschooling at its finest, if you ask me. But there's like those moments of like, okay, I like know how to handle the situation, if you even want to say handle, or I know how to be in the situation, or I know how to like respond to this person, or like have a conflict with this person because I was raised in an environment that allowed for that to be okay. Like we allowed for there to be conflict, and we allowed for there to be reconciliation or whatever the situation was. But yeah, I think it just created an environment to learn how to do that. Really.
What do you all think? And we come across this a lot where, you know a lot of families that don't have that solid foundation that you all were completely blessed with. And
Mhm.
holy cow, was it a lot of work? Okay, I'm not going to downplay that part because as the mom's perspective, it takes a lot to raise kids, especially that are staying home all the time, feeding them all day long, never leaving your side for what 20 plus years. And it's a lot. It's a lot. But a lot of people don't have that. A lot of the parents are working, like you said, they
Yeah.
go to school all day, they don't even know each other. And then they go out in the world and they don't know how to build friendships, or they don't know how to be respected by other people. They don't know how to respect. So, what would you say to those people? Because we all know them.
Yep.
And we want to. What would you say? Or both of you?
I think there's like, it's funny that it's called the Dinner Table Podcast because I think I didn't really even know that was the name until
She
right
didn't
before we
know
started. I was
until
like, that's the name.
she
Okay,
read
great.
it. Yeah.
But I think almost every night save a few nights here and there, we have dinner together. Almost every night, and whether it's like different people popping in because of different things, but at least once a week, all of us are together. And I think as we got older, it was a little bit less, but as kids, we would have dinner all the time and breakfast and lunch. But Dad wasn't there for breakfast and lunch, and sometimes not dinner. But I think if there's like an environment to allow everyone to just sit and be together without the phones, I think that
We had that issue last time.
We did.
The listeners heard my
Oh.
ding,
Oh,
and I was guilty of having my phone
Yeah.
at the dinner table.
I mean, my phone's over there, but it's like having that away from the situation. It like it allows for more human interaction, and I think that's what we're lacking. And I think I've been to way too many people's like houses or whatever it is, and their kids are allowed on their phones during dinner, and I'm like, well, hold on a minute, what about the whole aspect of we're sitting down as a family, and I don't really care if you're bored, but you're just going to sit here and like be bored then, maybe that's a little harsh, but there's like an aspect of like, there has to be one thing once a week that you can do as a family that instills the importance of being together as a unit, as a group, because that's got to be the most important thing ever. And if you want to instill that into your children, then you have to fight for it. You have to say like, this is what's gonna happen, because otherwise it's not gonna.
I like that you
be a
said
thing.
you have to fight
You
for
have
it.
to fight for it. Yeah.
Mike, what do you think?
Yeah. Well, kind of going off of what Gabby said, to put that set time aside, but also to make it something enjoyable for the kids as well, right? Like if you say, oh, we're going to do like a little book club or something like that, and kids are going to be like, what did you just say? You know what I mean, all right? The average
100%.
14-year-old is going to be like, I'm out of here.
Yes, 100%.
But to make it like a fun activity that the kids get excited about, because that's what you want to bring. You want to bring the excitement into their lives. And then from that can stem everything else, right?
Yeah. And I think you made a good point. I think a lot of us parents, we want everything to be educational, right? Everything is a lesson. So sometimes there's things that happen. I'm like, all right, kids, here's a great lesson for you to learn. it's really probably not the best
No.
way because
Say, never mind.
yeah, but Mike, to your point, I think, to do something fun as a family, ask your kids what they want to do
Yeah.
and leave it up to them.
Yeah.
It might be something simple. It doesn't have to be, hey, let's go to Disney for the week, but it might be something
could be.
basic. It could be, but maybe you decide on something else. But my point is, a lot of times we as parents make decisions based off of what we think you want to do.
Yeah.
Right. Or
Yeah.
we make decisions based off of what we think you need.
Hmm.
And I think that's common. But even getting back to that original question that I asked, I'm not sure if you all answered.
It's okay. That is hard talking.
It was basically when you come into relationship of some kind with people who don't have that solid family.
Gotcha.
And what I've noticed, because maybe we invite them over, maybe we
Hmm.
make them as part of our family. We invite them in, we give them the experience of sitting at the table. We've done it for some years. When we moved to
Yeah.
Florida, it was very different, right? Because we left everyone,
Yes.
all of our family, everyone that we used to have big parties and all, it was amazing. We came here, we didn't know anybody. And so the people that we met that didn't have family, we would invite them in.
Hmm.
And so I think looking at that, it made me realize the amount of people that don't have family.
The family life, yes.
And so if we meet those people and we have it, would you say invite them in?
For sure.
Oh,
You kind of
definitely,
answered- You answered my question.
No further questions.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I've known quite a few people that I've even just had over that just
Yeah.
came over to visit for the weekend or whatever, and they're just like, I just didn't know this was even a real, like even possible. Like I've never seen this before.
Hmm.
Like people that actually like each other, people that like
Yeah.
want to hang out with each other, and yeah, I think that's sad because like
They just didn't
that's
experience
didn't
it.
expect it.
Yeah.
Didn't expect it.
Yeah.
Because
They didn't
it's
even,
too
like
far
you said,
in between.
yeah. So if you don't experience it, you're just like, well, how do you not know about it?
Yeah.
But if you didn't grow up with it, with like even spouses talking and actually communicating and laughing,
Yeah.
you don't know that that's real. You don't know that that's a reality, and that could be. And maybe people have a different perspective on marriage.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For sure.
Right?
For sure. 100%.
What do you think?
I'm just sitting here. I'm listening to you guys.
This is our normal dinner table. Is someone talks the most, someone has the questions. Just kidding. No, it's
You
all.
might be here.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I was asked to be here.
Thank you. She was invited.
I was invited.
She was invited, forcefully invited. Is that
She gets her coffee. It's okay.
if you give the kids coffee and food, they will come.
Well, I got
They will listen.
Yeah. No, I do love this because I feel like we think about these things and we talk about them amongst us here in the Barbaro house. But to share them with other people and to encourage you, if you do have a family and you have your parties, you have your family gatherings, and you have your dinner, your family dinner table every night or whatever, and you know other people that don't have it and they've never experienced it. Invite them over. Father Leo, the chef, I forget his last name because I can never
I can't
pronounce
say
it.
it, so I'm not
that's
gonna
why
try.
that's why I forget it. He always talks about that, the importance of sitting together and eating and inviting other people. Doesn't matter you have to agree with them 100%.
Hmm.
It's just human to human. Like we have to remember is that they just they don't know yet.
well, also the not even in agreeing with them on things.
Yeah.
Like, what a great opportunity to actually have conversations. Because if you agree with someone on everything, it's like
It's kind of
Like, oh,
boring,
this is-
isn't it?
You agree on it and you're like, yeah.
we agree. We agree on everything.
I think
We're not
that
everything,
actually is
so-
a really good next podcast conversation for us
Evangelization.
Yeah.
At the dinner table.
at the dinner table
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
some people just don't know. They don't know what they believe. And I've
Yeah.
encountered that lately and I'm confused by it. But then I realized, oh, that's right. I'm thankful for my faith
Mhm.
that I
Sure.
grew up in a certain way. People didn't have that.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
maybe we'll talk about that next.
Of course.
Yeah. Any final words, Gabs? Will you be back?
Sure, I'll come back.
It wasn't that bad. See, Mama knows best sometimes.
Oh my gosh, you're getting tangled or something.
I'm not the evil, like strange mother, am I?
Do you know
I hope
her
not.
name? Do you know her name?
Gothel?
Yeah, okay, great.
Okay, got it.
I was just really worried that she didn't know what her name was.
Michael, any final thoughts?
Any final thoughts? None that I can think of.
Okay. Okay. Well,
I
I
think
just,
so.
and I really enjoyed this conversation. We hope you did too. And again, if there are topics that you want us to discuss, please send them our way. We would love to take a look at those. And until next time, thanks for joining the Barbaro family at the Dinner Table Podcast.